Good morning, everybody. I know it's been a minute since I made a talking head video like this, but I've had something on my mind for the last few months, really, but it's just been the last week or so where I really thought, I want to make a video about that. Now, this is going to reference a comment that was left on my Friday the 13th box set video. I know I keep talking about this video, but it's because I keep getting comments and likes and views on that video, so more and more people keep seeing it, and so I keep getting different points of view off of that video. And somebody left a comment that really snowballed this whole idea into, I want to make this a video. So let me just read this comment here. I'm not going to put up their name on the screen or anything, but I will put the comment up on the screen right now, right there. Why is everyone saying that they should do a Nightmare on Elm Street box set? It's not gonna happen if a lot of people are already complaining about this box set. People are making Scream Factory not do a big box set ever again. And that snowballed into this idea. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say this is just my opinion. If you disagree with that, that's great. Different opinions are what make the world go round. And if you do disagree with what I'm about to say, drop me a comment down below because I would love to hear different points of view. I'm not here to argue with you guys. I want to have a conversation with you. And like I said, this is just my opinion, and I guarantee you a bunch of people have different opinions on this subject, but I felt strongly enough that I wanted to make this video about my opinion. And if you disagree, leave a comment down below and let's have a conversation, because that's what this whole thing is about. I have been collecting physical media for 20 plus years. I collected DVDs when they first started to come out. When Blu-ray came around, I actually chose HD DVD over Blu-ray, which, by the way, this is going to be controversial in itself. I still think HD DVD looks better than Blu-ray does, but that doesn't matter because the market chose Blu-ray. But that's not what this video is about. Maybe one day I'll make a video about why I prefer HD DVD over Blu-ray, even though now they're impossible to find. There were only a handful ever made, and the players are nowhere to be found, but that's for another video. Today's video is going to be about blind support for Blu-ray labels. So, I understand supporting a Blu-ray label. Like I said, I've been collecting for over 20 years, and when you find a label that you really like, just to name a few that are my favorites, Arrow, Kino, Blue Underground, Scream Factory, even Shout Factory puts out cool stuff. I know they're the same company. But when you find a good label that you really like, the packaging is good, the transfers are good, the extras are dope, it's important to support those guys. But blind support is not the way to go about doing this. And this comment snowballed into this whole idea because I will read you, just as a jumping off point, I want to read you what I wrote back to this guy, which a couple people here have liked, because I do think that some other people are going to agree with me here. I don't know what the percentage is going to be, but this is how I responded to that comment. I disagree. They will make many, many, many more box sets. Holding them to a high standard is a good thing. Being critical of something, especially when it's this expensive, again, I'm talking about the Friday the 13th deluxe box set from Scream Factory, especially when it's this expensive, is the best way to hold them accountable. They know they messed this up, and they will do better next time because of it. It's a dope box set. It's just had a few problems. And this is where this video comes in. Blind support for a Blu-ray label is a terrible idea. Look, I understand. Physical media is dying. The Blu-ray medium is dying, okay? Every single time I go into a Best Buy or a Target or anything else like that, those sections are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Blu-rays are getting more and more expensive. 4K Blu-rays are ludicrously expensive still. Even though I made a whole video, which I will link right here and down in the description, about is it time to switch to 4K? I still can't do that because they're still too expensive. And I'm starting to think that's not gonna change. Physical media is dying. Despite how all of us feel about collecting physical media, this is a dying medium. The mainstream does not care to collect physical media. I mean, look at this. Look at how much space this takes up. I'm not complaining about that because this is my thing. I love to collect physical media, but most people are not like that, and I can't blame them for that. This is ridiculous. When people walk into this apartment and see this, the first thing they say is, that is a lot of Blu-rays. Do you really need that much? Everything is on streaming. Now, since Shudder has come along, Amazon Prime has a lot of really good stuff. Because these streaming platforms have a lot more underground, older horror movies, it is becoming easier and easier to find this stuff on streaming services. But that does not mean that I am only watching streaming stuff. stuff. I still collect on a weekly basis, but most people are not like that, and I can't hold that against them. This stuff takes up a lot of space, and when it's just readily available on a streaming service, why would anyone spend more money every single month to collect and hold on to this plastic and physical thing that takes up this much space? Most people aren't gonna do that. As heavy collectors, we don't care about that. This is our hobby. We understand physical media is important. Streaming services are not always going to have the movies we want to watch all the time. There are contracts and all sorts of other stuff that goes along with having a movie on Netflix. It'll stay there for 6 months, it'll disappear, it'll come back 2 years later. When you collect physical media, you always own that movie. It is yours to do with what you will. Whenever you want to watch it, you have it there. You're not going to get any arguments about that from me. But blind support for a Blu-ray label that messes things up or does not have the quality control they once have, I'm looking at you, Scream Factory. This whole video may blacklist me from a whole bunch of labels later down the road, but I feel like this is important. Blind support for a company is dumb. I'm sorry, but it is. Now, I don't care if we're talking about Blu-rays, I don't care if we're talking about Xbox or PlayStation, they are all companies that want your money. The important thing to keep in mind when supporting a company is that they are serving you. You buying every single thing that they put out, that's you supporting them. They are the ones that are reliant on us as a community to keep their label going strong. Especially going forward, it is going to be so important that us as hardcore collectors support these Blu-ray companies. But that does not mean blind support. In my Friday the 13th video, I've seen many comments angry that I was not just blind supporting that box set. And because I made such a big deal about how that box set isn't up to my standards, or really up to the quality control that Scream Factory has been known for in the past, even though within the last few years they've really started to slip on their quality control, when I see comments like that, it makes me frustrated. Because if you do not hold these companies to a high standard, especially when we are paying $30+ for a single Blu-ray or a 4K Blu-ray, that is insane. It's insane. And as long as we blind support a company, they will never change. Now, this goes back to how I responded to that comment initially. They know they messed up this Friday box set. They made it right. That box set is awesome, and I cannot blame anybody for picking it up, especially from what I understand. I think the price just dropped down on it. That is awesome. But what does that tell us? That tells us as a community, not enough of us bought that set, that they felt the need to bring it down a little bit. When they only made 20,000, as far as I know, I could be wrong about that, but as far as I know, they made 20,000 of those box sets. When 20,000 doesn't sell out immediately because the collecting community doesn't feel like it's worth it, that's a good thing in the long run for us. It's not a good thing in the long run for Scream Factory, but you know what that tells Scream Factory in the long run? It tells them that we will not blind support crap. This might be the most angry video that I've done so far, and I don't mean for it to come off that way. I am just frustrated at the blind support that I see for every single one of these companies when a lot of them don't really deserve it. Not all of them. Arrow, Criterion, companies like that. Now, I am not a completionist, so don't hold me to every single release they've ever put out, but I personally have never seen, even Kino, I have never seen a release from them that I have been unhappy with. That's not the case with Scream Factory. That is not the case with Blue Underground. It's not the case with several others. I could keep naming companies that I get frustrated with because their quality control continues to slip and slip and slip. And it's not every single one of those companies. I don't want to make it seem like I'm making this blanket statement that every company is turning into crap, because that's not the case. All I'm saying is that blind support is foolish. And if you do not hold these companies accountable for quality control, we're going to continue to get crap. That's all I'm saying. Now that I've got that off my chest, I don't want to just keep getting myself more and more frustrated here. All I'm trying to tell the Blu-ray collecting community here, physical media is dying. I understand that, and I'm sure a lot of us are really worried that it's going to only get more and more expensive. But you know what? The more expensive these things get in the long run, the higher standard we need to be holding them to. And I know a lot of you are thinking like, but if we don't support these guys blindly, then they're gonna go out of business. And I've also seen a lot of people on my Is It Time to Switch to 4K videos saying that 4K is the last physical media we will ever see, 8K is not coming, everything is gonna be going to streaming and all that stuff. I understand that line of thinking, but all I'm gonna say to counter that, and a lot of you might disagree with this, but I'm gonna point to the vinyl collecting community. Vinyl has been around for a long time, especially used vinyl. You can pick it up for really cheap, but they are still making new vinyl every single day, and vinyl sales continue to climb year after year because people enjoy collecting physical media. Now, it is only hardcore collectors. Most people are using Spotify or iTunes or whatever other streaming companies there are out there, but there is a large base of people that still collect vinyl. We are headed as the film collecting community in that direction, and it's going to be super important that we do not let companies continue to slip on quality control. So that's all I have to say here. If you disagree with me, leave a comment. I'm not trying to argue here. I want to have an actual conversation about this. This is just my opinion, and I felt strongly enough that I wanted to sit down today and talk about this. I don't make these videos a whole lot where I'm sitting down and just spitballing and talking about my opinion here. Most of the time I make reviews or podcasts or more vlogs in the future, by the way, but that comment has been weighing on me for a little bit because I know a lot of people feel that way. I want to know why. I want to know why people in the community blindly support companies when it is glaringly obvious that their quality control continues to slip. So let's have a conversation down in the comments, please. I'm not here to argue. Don't call me names. Let's not get into a whole heated back and forth thing here. Let's have a conversation. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you liked this, make sure you hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button because I've got a lot more content like this on the way. I've got a podcast coming out in the next few days. I'm going to be doing a movie review or two next week. So make sure you stick around because I've got more videos coming up, and I will see you guys next time. Mike the Finder out. See ya.